Hi all, and welcome to the next session of Trails to Tasting with the Art of Ecology. And this week, as you can see all over here, we're going to be focusing on the goldenrod flower today. And we will be making our own infused honeys out of the goldenrod flowers. These are amazing, not just for the landscape here, but also for our own health. So let's figure out first how to identify the goldenrod. Now there are numerous goldenrod species, so it can be a little complicated in terms of identifying them. But right here we've got all of one type, and goldenrods will have these spikes of flowers. You can see that on one spike there's many little tiny flowers here. And there are many spikes that make up one plant. They are on these single stalks. And on the stalks, it's pretty rough. These aren't very soft leaves. You can see that they have tiny teeth, very tiny teeth, or serrated edges. The leaves here are very long and linear, very thin, with one very obvious midrib down the middle here. The leaves also are connected pretty much directly to the stem. They lack something called a petiole, and a petiole is, if we look at this blackberry here, you see how the leaves have this stem that connects to the main branch. That little stem is the petiole that connects the leaves to the main branch, and the goldenrod doesn't really have that. Now, goldenrod provides extremely valuable habitat to local pollinator species, from this honeybee here to many other species like bumblebees, butterflies, skippers, moths, wasps, beetles, ants. So many different things rely on goldenrod for their late season food resources. Having this much goldenrod in the landscape is going to create a very healthy, very biodiverse landscape. Birds are also going to be relying on the goldenrod here as they enjoy picking out the seeds and even sometimes the insects that land on it. But birds like your American goldfinch or your indigo bunting and pine siskin, they are all going to be really enjoying this landscape, which will help to fuel a fall migration. So overall, goldenrod is such an amazing plant. For our cocktail, though, we are going to be making some goldenrod-infused honey. When we pick our goldenrod, we're going to want to be looking for ones that aren't fully bloomed yet. This one's going to be better than this one with all the flowers already in bloom. So we're going to want to pick about a cup of our goldenrod. This is going to then be dried and infused in the honey that we will be using for our Golden Glow cocktail. Now, goldenrod is such an amazing plant. Like I said, not just for the ecosystems, but also because it's got lots and lots of health properties for us. So as we harvest our goldenrod, we can be enjoying this infused honey in more than just the cocktail. You'll want it in your teas, on your breakfast oatmeal, however you use honey. Goldenrod is actually antihistamine, antibacterial, antifungal. It is great for your cardio health. But one of my favorite things about it is that it can actually help soothe fall allergies. And many people think that goldenrod is the source of their fall allergies. So it's pretty exciting that you can actually use it to relieve some of those symptoms because it is an antihistamine. It will alleviate some of the sinus pressure. It will help to dry out your upper respiratory system. So by drinking this cocktail, by drinking your tea, you'll be keeping yourself nice and healthy as well. Just remember though, best thing to do is also to use local honey for this infusion, as local honey has pollen grains, it has proteins, it has enzymes from these local plants. And those are probably the plants that if you have fall allergies that you're sneezy from, or that you are exposed to on a regular basis. Once you have got your roughly 1 cup of goldenrod to be harvested, we will dry that out. Once it is nice and dried, we will use that to infuse our honey. Once the honey is infused, keep in mind, this is a process. It'll be about a week-long infusion, if not more. But once we have our infused honey, we will create our cocktail. We now have our goldenrod honey, so let's get to making our Goldenrod Glow. What you'll need for it is your infused honey that you made, some fresh ginger to grate, gin, and orange juice. Let's get started at making the cocktail. All right, get your shaker ready, and you will need 2 ounces of gin. 1 ounce of orange juice, half an ounce of your honey, your infused honey. And for this, you're going to want to make sure, since this is a chilled cocktail, that your honey is more of a syrup and less of a goopy, thick honey. Otherwise, the cold is going to congeal the honey very quickly and just have it settle at the bottom instead of permeating throughout the mixture. So make sure it's nice and warm. You can either double boil it or put it in the microwave. I put this in the mic for about 20 seconds. And now it is pretty liquidy. And you are going to want half an ounce of that. So that's about 3 spoonfuls. So 1, and 3. You can kind of stir it with the spoon to get the extra honey off. So now shake it all up. And pour it in. Then top it off with your grated ginger. This is to taste, so if you like that ginger flavor, then great, great, great. If you don't want it, you don't have to have it. I personally really love the ginger because not only does it add a nice little flavor, but also because ginger has some really good probiotic benefits to it, as well as some anti-nausea, digestive health, and just lots of great health benefits from ginger to begin with. Let's find out. Oh, it's so sweet. Maybe only do 2 spoonfuls of the honey, but dang, it's good, it's flavorful. Honestly, it is a punch in the face with that honey flavor, but it does go with the ginger and the orange really well. It blends together. But just keep that in mind. If you really love the taste of honey, you'll love this cocktail. If you enjoyed this week's session of Trails to Tasting and making our Goldenrod Glow here, and look at that glowy color, then I encourage you to subscribe and like for more foraging goodness, wild edible tastings, and just more information about the natural world here on the channel for the Art of Ecology. Like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more.